Once you receive a to-do list notification or notice that the face sheet item has turned orange and says EPA action required, a response has been received from the PBM. There are several ways to access the response. You can either double-click on the to-do list notification, or you can open the patient's chart and right-click on the medication from the face sheet to select Open EPA Status Dialog. In either case, you will be taken to the EPA Status Dialog, which will be open to the case details in the Workflow Processes tab. Your next step would be to click the link for Action Required to view the details of this request. Depending on the request, the action required could say Acknowledge Closed PA, Acknowledge Denial, or Acknowledge Approval. If the user needs to provide additional information to the PBM, the action required will say Complete PA Form. The following screen will then give you the details of the request with the option to acknowledge the response at the bottom for closed, denied, and approved responses. Clicking Acknowledge tells the software that you read this response and you are done with it. Once you click Acknowledge, the system will refresh the Workflow Processes tab, adding a line item showing that you completed this EPA request. And it will also be removed from the Work List tab. However, the history of the request will still live in the Workflow Processes tab. When you are done viewing the status of a prior authorization request, click the red X in the upper right corner to close the EPA status dialog. Please remember that after the EPA approval response has been received, in order to electronically prescribe a medication flagged for EPA, you must perform the extra step of right-clicking on the medication from the face sheet and selecting Q for ePrescribe, and then send ePrescriptions. Also, after you close the chart, you can then delete the to-do list notification regarding the status change for this EPA request by highlighting the message and clicking Delete.